Hi girls, today we are going to see about derived quantities and their units. There are so many quantities given. There are so many quantities given. Plane angle, solid angle, area, volume, like this. There are so many physical quantities. And if you know the expression, you can write the unit. For example, here for plane angle, the expression is arc by radius. So for that, the unit is radian. And if you take area, for area, the expression length into breadth, that is meter square. Because for length meter and for breadth meter, so meter square. For volume, area into height. If you know for area meter square into height m, so here for area meter square and height m, so the unit is meter cube. If we know the expression for velocity, velocity is displacement by time. For displacement meter, for time s, so ms power minus 1. So there are the list of quantities given and their expression and their units. And you read all these quantities with their expression. I will say one or two so that you can understand. For force, mass into acceleration. For mass kg and for acceleration ms power minus 2. So kg ms power minus 2. Totally this unit can be written as Newton. Similarly for pressure, force by area. So you can write this as for force Newton and for area m power minus 2. So nm power minus 2 or Pascal. Similarly, you can find for all the other quantities moment of force, electric charge, current density, magnetic induction, and some force constant, Planck's constant, specific heat, Boltzmann constant. For all this, you can find out the units. So you by heart all these physical quantities with their expression and the unit. So you can write the unit only if you know the expression. That is the main thing. Next, pi radian. So here pi radian is equal to 180 degree. The lower classes have studied this. So what about 1 radian? 1 radian is equal to 180 degree by pi. For pi, you can substitute 22 by 7. So you get 57.27 degree. And you know, a degree, the symbol is like this. This is for minute. And if there are two lines like this, you can say it as seconds. So degree, minute, seconds. 1 degree, 60 minutes. Similarly, 1 minute, 60 seconds. Like that, it will go on. And relations between radian, degree, and minute. You know, 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radian. Because 180 degree is equal to pi radian. So 1 degree is equal to pi by 180 radian. And can substitute pi value. So you'll get this value 1.745 into 10 power minus 2 radian. Similarly, for minute. For minute, what shall you do? You can divide 1 degree by 60. And you know the value for 1 degree, the radian is 1.745 into 10 power minus 2 divided by 60. You will get this value. Similarly, for 1 minute, for 1 minute, 1 degree divided by 3600. That means 60 into 60. You can substitute that, you will get this value. So, these are the radian values for 1 degree, for 1 minute, and for 1 second. You should by heart these values and can substitute wherever you want. So next we are going to see about measurement of basic quantities. Basic quantity means there are three main basic quantities you know: length, mass, and time. So these length and mass, time, and we are going to find out what are the units used in this particular area. So here the concept of length is nothing but concept of distance. So length and distance they are same, and in this there are two categories: microcosm and macrocosm and microcosm. Macrocosm means you can have for very large bodies, galaxies, stars, sun, earth, moon, and these are very large objects. And for measuring these distances, you can the method is called macrocosm. And if you take atom, proton, neutron, electron, bacteria, etc., if the distance measured here is under the constitute microcosm. So these are two branches, macrocosm and microcosm. Next, we can see for different measurements, we are using different devices. You can use either meter scale or vernier caliper or screw gauge. For small up to 10 power minus 3 to 1, you can use meter scale. Up to 10 power minus 4 meter you can use vernier caliper, and for up to 10 power minus 5 meter you can use screw gauge. For measuring different type of measurements you can use different devices. And so there are various powers. You can have prefixes of various powers. List of powers of 10, both negative and positive powers are given as a tabular column. They are called as prefixes, and these prefixes are used along with units of length and of mass. And here in the left side you are having positive powers, and in the right side you are having negative powers. These are multiples and these are sub multiples because they come under division. So 10 power 1 can be called as deca, the symbol is dA. So 10 power 2 is called hecta and the symbol is H. Similarly, you can read the familiar multiples and their prefixes. 10 power 3 kilo, that you already know. 10 power 6 is mega, and so it will go on. And when you take this 10 power minus 1, the prefix is called deci. 10 power minus 2 centi, 10 power minus 3 milli, 10 power minus 6 micro. So this will go on. So there are some names given to the multiples and submultiples. These names are called as prefixes, and this is about the prefixes for powers of 10. Next, we are going to see about measurement of small distances. For small distance, either you can use screw gauge or vernier caliper. So screw gauge is used to measure a maximum of about 50 mm, and that is very small distance. And here you already have studied this in lower classes. This is the structure of screw gauge, and here this is called pitch scale, and the rotating one is called head scale. And suppose if 0 and 0 coincides, there is no error. Suppose if 0 coincides with the 5, that is called a positive error. And suppose if 0 coincides with the 95, this is called negative error. That is above and below. You can take it as like that. And this screw, how can you find out screw gauge reading? In this, the value divisions here is 6. So 6 mm. So PSR is equal to 6 mm. HSC is equal to 40 divisions. And the reading you can calculate as 6 mm plus 40 into 0.01 mm, that is 6.40 mm. And here the least count of the screw gauge is 0.01 mm. This is very important value. You should remember this. Vernier caliper. Vernier caliper is mainly used for finding out the diameter of the hole or depth of a hole where you cannot use screw gauge. So here the vernier caliper diagram. This you already studied in your lower classes, and this is called main scale and this is called vernier scale. Here there are 10 divisions in vernier scale, and using this you can find out the depth of hole or diameter of the hole. Here the main scale, here the both the zeros coincide and there is no error. And here this is on this side, that is on the right side, so positive error. If this is on the left side, that is called negative error. And vernier reading is coinciding like this. This is vernier reading, this is main scale reading. Suppose if this 0 coincides with this value, that is 2.2 centimeter, and the vernier scale fourth division is coinciding, then the correct reading is 2.2 plus 4 into 0.01 centimeter, that is 2.24 centimeter. And here you can see that the least count of screw gauge is 0.01 mm, whereas for vernier caliper it is 0.1 mm, or you can write it as 0.01 centimeter. So here 0.01 mm, here 0.1 mm. That is the main difference. And measurement of long distances. For large distance, three methods are adopted: triangulation method, parallax method, and radar method. These three methods can be used for finding out very large distances. First, we shall see about triangulation method for finding out the height of an accessible object. When you see this diagram, you are having a tree, and the height of the tree is h, and C is the place where the observer is here, and this distance is x, that is the observer is at a distance x from the bottom of the tree. And you can find out theta, you can find out any range finder to find out the angle theta. So from this you can find out what is the height of the tree, because you consider the right angle triangle A B C. In this right angle Tan theta, opposite by adjacent, so h by x. That is equal to AB by BC, where you can find out h is equal to x tan theta. So knowing the distance x and the angle theta, you can find out the height of the tree. So this is a method called triangulation method, because you are taking triangle ABC and you are finding out the height. Next we are going to see about parallax method. So parallax method, you can find out the distance of planet or star from the earth. That is the parallax method. Parallax method means the apparent change in the position of an object with respect to the background. That is, I have told you one example. That is, you have to keep a pen before you against the background of the wall, and you close your left eye and see the pen. Then you close your right eye and see the pen. There will be some displacement in this. The position of pen changes with respect to the background of the wall. So there is some shift in the object. This shift in the position of the object, say a pen, when viewed through two eyes with keeping one eye closed at a time, is known as parallax. So this shift in position is nothing but parallax method. Using this method, you can find out the distance of very large objects, and you consider this diagram. Here this is L represent left, R is right, and O is the point we are observing. That is here this distance is x, also this distance is x, and here what is this angle is called parallax angle or parallactic angle. This parallax angle is given by the formula b by x, opposite side by adjacent. This b is called basis. Basis means the distance between left and right, and this distance is x. So you can find out theta is equal to b by x, from which you can find out x. So this is a very simple method to calculate x, that is the distance of star and planet. So next we are going to see about determination of distance of moon from the earth. Here when you see this diagram, in this diagram, you consider this as the earth and C is the center, moon is here. So you are going to find out the distance between the center of the earth and moon. When you see here, A and B are 2 points, one on left side and the other on right side. So you can take this as the diameter of the earth, and you consider two stars are here, S1, S2. Using astronomical telescope, you stay at a point A and find out what is angle theta 1. This angle can be measured by using astronomical telescope. Similarly, the observer is at B and he sees the star S2, and now the angle is theta 2. Both these angles are measured by using astronomical telescope. So what about the center angle? The center angle is actually, according to mathematics, this theta is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2. And so here what is theta? As usual, opposite by adjacent, that is AB divided by AM. So theta is equal to AB by AM. Here AM is approximately equal to MC. That is, this AM and this MC are equal. Approximately it is taken to be as equal. So theta is equal to AB by MC. Instead of AM, we take as MC. From this, MC is equal to AB by theta. Here MC is nothing but the distance of moon from the earth. So if you know the diameter of the earth and theta, you can find out the distance of moon from the earth. This is the method to find out the distance of moon from the earth. So there are two methods you have seen. Next we are going to see about radar method. So this is a third method. Radar stands for radio detection and ranging. That is, this is expansion for radar. Radio detection and ranging. Ranging means to find the distance. That is called ranging. And here there is a transmitter and receiver. After reflection from the planet, they are detected by the receiver. You see this diagram? This is a transmitter which transmits radio waves, and it is reached by any object here. That is, here if you have any aeroplane or any planet, any distant object you can take, and so here the waves reach this object and it returns back. So the radio waves are transmitted and then received. There is a to and fro motion, forward motion and backward motion of the waves. Mainly you have to find out the time period. From this time period you can find out the distance. So here you know the formula for speed. Speed is distance traveled by time taken, or otherwise you can write distance is equal to speed of radio waves into time taken. So usually d is equal to Vt by 2, where v is the speed of the wave, t is the time taken. It is divided by 2 because you have to consider the forward and backward path of the radio wave. So it is divided by 2. And so this is a very simple formula. Distance is velocity or speed into time. And it is divided by 2 because of the forward and backward path of the radio waves. So here, this method can also be used to determine the height at which an aeroplane flies from the ground. So this is the object shown here is the aeroplane. Also you can find out the distance of the planet from the earth. So this is radar method. Next we are going to see about range and order of lengths. And here starting from a very highest length, it is slowly descending, and the last one is 10 power minus 15. So the first one is distance of to the boundary of the observable universe. This is distance to the boundary of the observable universe. That is, we are finding out the first distance of the universe. That is, the nearest first distance is 10 power 26. So distance to Andromeda galaxy, size of galaxy, so many distances are given. Finally, these are negative powers. Negative means thickness of paper, diameter of red blood cell. They are very very thin in nature, and slowly it descends, and the diameter of the proton is 10 power minus 15 meter. This tabular column is to show you that are from large distance to short distance. All the distances are given, and these are positive powers and these are negative powers. Together they are measured in the unit of meter. So for our convenience, usually for large distances we are using so many prefixes. And here some common practical units. 1 Fermi is 10 power minus 15 meter. Angstrom is 10 power minus 10 meter. Nanometer means 10 power minus 9 meter. Micron 10 power minus 6 meter. And what is light year? Light year and astronomical unit parsec. These are three important units to measure large distances. And here light year is the distance traveled by light in vacuum in 1 year. That is, if you take light, the velocity of light is 3 into 10 power 8 ms power minus 1. That is a constant value. The 3 into 10 power 8 meter is the light distance traveled by light in 1 second. If this continues for 1 year, what is the distance traveled? That is given by 9.467 into 10 power 15 meter. And here astronomical unit is the distance of Earth from the Sun, and its value is 1.496 into 10 power 11 meter. So this is the higher unit, smaller than this light year. Then parsec. Parsec is parallactic second. That is abbreviation for parsec is parallactic second, and this is the distance of at which an arc of length 1 AU subtends an angle of 1 second of arc. Okay, suppose you have a circle like this, and here this arc is having a distance of 1 AU, and the angle subtended is 1 second. Then the distance is called parsec. So distance at which an arc of length 1 AU, this is the length of arc, which is equal to 1 AU, and the angle subtended at the center is 1 second. Now this distance is called parsec, and this parsec is 3.08 into 10 power 16 meter, which is equal to 3.26 light year. And so these are the units for measuring very large distances: light year, astronomical unit, and parsec. And the first 4 units are for smaller distances, and they are in the negative powers. They are used in small distances. So this is about measurement of length. And before that, there is one definition for radian and steradian. Radian is the angle subtended at the center of a circle by an arc equal to the length to the radius of the circle. That means here this is the radius of the circle and this is the length of the arc, and these should be equal. That is the length of the arc must be equal to the radius of the circle. Then the angle subtended at the center is called radian. Simply you can say that if the length of the arc is equal to the radius of the circle, then the angle subtended at the center is 120. Similarly, what is steradian? This is for plane angle, this is for solid angle. One steradian is a solid angle subtended at the center by a sphere by that surface of the sphere which is equal in area to the square of radius of the sphere. So suppose if this area is equal to the square of the radius, then the angle subtended at the center is called steradian. Radian is a unit for plane angle and steradian is a unit for solid angle. So these two definitions you should study. That's all, girls. Hope you understand this question.